What's up, peeps? This is a show all about a show that is so much more than a show. It's gonna show us all what community really looks like. Let's go.
Good morning, family. It's time to hit the streets. I've got the news today. It's time to be the change. It's time to stand up, get up. 'Cause it's time to get up.
Brian, what's going on, man?
What's up, man?
What's up? It is show night.
Good. You ready?
What's up? Yeah, I'm ready, man. I'm in voice.
I don't need you to sing. We're good.
Okay.
We're good.
All
We're
right.
good. We're good.
What else you got going on?
Everything, man. This is the ultimate thread up.
Yes.
You know, we got 3 generations of Ferguson on the stage at one time.
Oh.
We got lots of great students, musicians from the city. Hey, we're giving out our first ever Champion for Life award.
That's gonna be awesome, man.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
awesome. And it all benefits Life Arts Inc. And you know what Life Arts Inc. is, right?
Life Arts Inc. is a nonprofit that we started a couple years ago. It's an acronym, so it's leadership, innovation, faith, and excellence. We focus on providing leadership development opportunities using the arts for students who live in what we call our reasonable radius of reach. There's an 8-mile radius that we've identified around the epicenter of Ferguson, where I live.
And what do you want to do? What's the mission?
Developing the leaders of today using the arts where they live. Really what that means is we just want to disciple young people and lead them to Christ using the arts, and then propel them out in a way where they can use art and media and creative content to then become the soundtrack of the leadership movements that they're called to be a part of.
What does this space mean for the mission?
Having a facility will allow us to develop community in an entirely different way than if we're in somebody else's space. We want to have that kind of place where the community can gather with no strings attached. So when you come into this place, you can enjoy all the amenities knowing that, man, my presence here is supporting a generation of people who very well may begin to shape the community and the culture. Our prayers as an executive team and staff is gonna be, I can't wait to see what God does in your life, and not in 20 years, tomorrow, the next day, the next day. Because we believe that our children have a right now mission, and we just wanna help them see that so they can be that right now.
Man, this is gonna be awesome, man.
Yes,
That is
yes,
so cool.
yes,
Wait,
I'm
you're talking about an award.
Yeah.
Champion for Life, first ever champion. What is that? Who is it, man? You gotta give me the scoop. I'm on the inside.
No. I can't tell you who is getting its name,
man.
but I can tell you who it's named after.
Who's that?
Grandmother Rucks.
Ooh. So let's talk about your legacy. You said you don't think you have a legacy.
Well, I don't consider it being phenomenal or spectacular or any such thing. You need to be a little louder and you need to be a little softer. I didn't set out to be a music teacher. The paths were kind of carved out for me. I wanted to go one direction, and I guess God wanted me to go a different direction. I was thinking of going into special education because I was concerned about kids with special needs. But I had met a man named Bernard Hutcherson, who was a musician, and he said, why would you do that? You're so good in music. Why not do something you know you're good at?
What is the one thing you hope your students learn from you and learn about music?
That they can express themselves in their very own way. This is yours. I present it to you in a certain way, and once you have it, you choose it, you use it as something that gives you pleasure, that makes you feel fulfilled. Good job, young lady. I've tried to show them how they can use music to express their feelings, whatever they are, even if they're negative, which I've done many times.
If you had to guesstimate how many students you've taught over the years, any idea?
No idea. General music, I'd say thousands. Piano, I'd say maybe 100 or so or more. I feel very blessed. At least I hope I've made a mark in somebody's life. If I've made one child feel more comfortable about himself and have a greater love of music, which I think is one of God's greatest gifts to us as people. It's kind of like I'm eternal. I won't be forgotten, you know. I will leave something worthwhile. I just can't tell you how that feels. It's almost when I transition, I'm not going to be gone at all. I'll still be here.
You said this isn't the path you chose for yourself. But looking back, can you imagine going down any other path?
No, I can't. I'm glad I was just willing to step out on faith. A friend of mine told me a long time ago, she said, Elizabeth, God is choreographing your life. And I thought that was a very profound statement. But I guess that's what it was.
Was she so much fun to talk to?
She's awesome.
What a great lady.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah.
I mean, she could be the recipient of the Champion for Life award.
She totally could. But I think it's awesome to use her legacy and who she is as the foundation for the award. Every time we give it out from here on out, her name comes up, and I think that's beautiful.
She is so worthy. Even though she doesn't think she's worthy, she is so worthy.
Totally.
All right, so give up the goods, man. Who's the champion for life? Come on.
You want to know now?
Yeah, I want to
Okay.
know.
The 2019 first ever champion for life is Coach Todd Shelton.
We're a block away from my house. I don't actually remember what happened, but my fiance said bullets rang out.
We got a call from Jackie, and she said, Mom, Todd's been shot. And I don't remember a whole lot except going into kind of like a hysteria.
It was devastating.
And next thing I knew, I woke up in the hospital. I'm not gonna lie, it's been a tough road, but it's a road that we gotta keep grinding and keep pounding the pavement. My thought process in all this is through disaster, there's opportunity.
He was that kind of a kid growing up. We were in a neighborhood that we all had to, watch our pennies and stuff, and some families had a little bit more than others, and it was nothing for him to come home with all the kids in the neighborhood and say, Mom, can they spend the night? And basically it was to come and have a nice dinner and use a nice bathroom that had a shower and stuff. He just was always like that. Or if you opened up the trunk of his car, it had sacks of apples and oranges and bananas, or change of clothes, or brand new gloves or socks. That's what the community kind of lost.
Yeah.
Because he did it for everybody.
I think through this, even though it's a tough battle that I'm going through, I think people can see that I can still inspire, I can still motivate, and I gotta keep grinding. I gotta keep pushing through faith and hard work.
He instills what's important about being a young man in this day and age, and how important it is to treat people the same way you want to be treated.
I'm proud of him. And you ask me why I'm so angry.
He doesn't care at this point, knowing who did it, why it was done. He said, we can't go backwards, so let's go forward.
Too often, we pray for an easy life. And my motto has always been, pray to endure a difficult one. You can always be someone's beacon of light in the darkest hours. Through difficult times, through disaster, there's always opportunity to be positive and to help others.
Brian, man, this is awesome, man. It's got everything. You got music, you got the awards, you got Grandma Rucks, Todd Shelton. It's gonna be awesome.
Hey, Tim, there's more.
More? What do you mean more? What are you not telling me, Brian? Tell me what else. Come on! You're holding out.
Our first mission is to bring glory to God. That's why we're here. We have a talent just happens to be banking.
So M1 Bank is banking on a mission, fueled by the power of purpose.
It gets a point in your life where you got to live it every day, not just believe it.
I'm believing that this is going to catch on and we're all going to thread up.
For us in our house, this is how we're going to serve the Lord and His purpose. And we're going to do it through the financial institution that happens to be called M1 Bank.
Hey, Threadheads, thanks for joining us this morning. Are you picking up on a theme here? We're like bringing joy, creating community, transforming lives. That's what this show is all about. We are so much stronger when we come together than we ever are when we separate and divide. We want to continue this mission. We want to help this city thread up and be the most it can be. So, you want to be a part of the team? You want to help us on that mission? Go to thethreadstl.com and learn how you can be a threadhead and help us thread up, y'all. What? Our time's almost up together already? You mean I gotta wait till next Saturday? That's way too long. We gotta catch up during the week. I got a great idea. Hey, why don't you follow us on social media? Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. You know, we've got content that doesn't actually fit on our 30-minute show, right? And we're adding new messages all the time, so follow us, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. It's our way to keep up with you throughout the week, and we can thread up all week long. Follow us, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. See you soon. Hey, Threadheads, you no doubt know Don Brown.
Don Brown Chevrolet? Don Brown Chevrolet. Don Brown Chevrolet.
And you probably know that Don has a flair for fashion and a knack for cars, but he also has a heart for people.
I learned from my father a long time ago, it's not about one person, it's about the entire community. It is a car business, but it's a people business. It's about the people. It's not about the products, it's about the people.
If you're in the market for a car, come to Don Brown, where it's people over process.
And we're proud to be part of the Thread family, and we'd love to be part of your family.
Anybody else you brought in to help with the celebration?
Are you kidding me?
Yeah, no, I'm not kidding. Have you brought anybody else?
What's up, man?
It's Michael McDonald.
It's Michael.
Michael McDonald.
5 Grammys Hall of Fame.
And a voice like gold. Now welcome to the stage, Mr. Michael McDonald.
Michael, first just tell me, why was it important to you to be a part of this event?
Well, it's my hometown. I'm so encouraged by this organization that Brian has started, and the fact that it mentors so much of young people in my old hometown here that towards the arts, you know, especially. That's always got a place in my heart because I believe in that endeavor so much for all of us as a society. Basically, I think the whole reason for the arts in our civilization as it's developed is a form of encouragement. It's how we encourage each other and remind each other of our humanness. That's the last thing we should be eliminating from our curriculums and our education system. You know, it seems to be the first thing to go, even at the college level. You know.
How did you first hear about Todd's situation?
I heard from friends, and his mom and I went to high school together, and, Kathy, and so, you know, to find out that her son had been going through this, and I had heard about him already, you know, God, he's doing such great work. He seems to help so many kids at risk. When we heard about this happening, it just seemed like, of all people, for this to happen to, it just didn't seem right, you know, and, you know, what could this possibly mean in God's world, you know, that this guy, of all guys, who stood to do so much for the community and for these kids. I think in ways that we don't always understand, these things are, they have their own meaning and they have their own importance, and maybe in his life it will have a focus and an importance that none of us see yet. But one thing's for sure, he seems to have risen to the occasion. He seems to be rising above it, and as Brian was saying, more convicted than ever to help these kids. So, you know, just when you see people like that, and I feel the same way about Brian, when I see people who have that energy and that heart for helping others and mentoring people, you know, that need it the most, you want to do whatever you can to pitch in. And, I think, like all of us, we're drawn to those people, you know, and that's why I'm here.
Brian Owens, everyone. The soul of Ferguson, right?
That was awesome.
Oh, Mike's
That's
great,
Michael
man.
McDonald,
I know, man.
So cool to have him a part of this.
Yeah, I'm excited.
Hey, you should be, man.
Yeah.
Oh, you know what I'm thinking, man? I got some questions.
No.
And I got a chair.
Tim, no.
You know what that means. It's time for the hot seat. Yeah, right here on the thread. All right, Michael, this is the hot seat. The questions are pretty simple. It's Michael McDonald or Ronald McDonald. Brian can help you if you have any questions. All right, you ready?
I think so.
Okay, here we go. This McDonald grew up in Ferguson.
Ronald McDonald? Michael McDonald.
Yes, absolutely. This one originally joined the Doobie Brothers as a temporary replacement.
Michael McDonald.
Michael McDonald, absolutely. This one's a clown.
Michael McDonald.
Well played. We'll accept either on that one. Okay, this one is good friends with Mayor McCheese, the Hamburglar, and the Grimace. And the Fry Guys.
Yeah, I've been called a Hamburglar over the years, but no, it's Ronald McDonald.
You're absolutely right. While one grew up under the arch, this one was born under the golden arches.
Both Michael McDonald.
I love that. All right, this one created 2 albums of Motown classics.
That's me.
Yeah, it is Michael McDonald. All right, this one's famous for Happy Meals.
Me.
I think a meal with Michael McDonald would be pretty happy. That's all I'm saying. All right, this McDonald caught rerun on What's Happening illegally recording the Doobie Brothers concert.
That's right. Yeah, Fred Berry from St. Louis.
Yes, absolutely. That's definitely Michael McDonald.
That's Michael McDonald.
And last one. All of St. Louis is proud of this McDonald, proud to call him their own, and absolutely love of his city and his people. That would be
Ronald McDonald.
No, that's Michael McDonald. That's you, brother. Hey, guess what? You just conquered the hot seat right here on the thread, brother. Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
He's a winner. Hey, Threadheads, we're excited about a new tool we have that makes it even easier for you to support the mission of the Thread. Go to our website, thethreadstl.com, and on that main page, just hit the donate button, and it'll take you to the next screen, which gives you several options. You've got $13.34 at the top, also $25, $50, or $100. Whoa, Tim, back that trailer up. What'd you say, $13.34? What's that all about? Well, that's a reminder of the verse that drives the mission of the Thread. John 13:34. As I have loved you, love one another. Those are Jesus' words, and it's a great reminder of what drives the mission of the Thread. So you could click on that, or you have those other options, or if there's another gift on your heart, you can customize your own amount. And then at the bottom of the page, you can make it either a one-time gift or a monthly. We'll click that, hit next, and it takes you to the screen where you can fill out your information, and then there's just one more step. You put in your credit card information, and just like that, you've helped us thread up, y'all. Join the team. We're waiting on you. Hey friends, we've got a new partner on the thread. It's USA Mortgage. And each week we're going to share with you a story of how this employee-owned business is using the passions of their people to change their community. All right, Kelly, tell me how USA Mortgage is investing and changing the community.
Well, we started a program called DAS Gives. DAS Acquisition Company is our parent organization. So it's like the show. It's like a thread. It's a way to bring your community together, and what better way to do that than to find out what everyone's passionate about. We don't do any third-party solicitations. We only give where our employees give. So if it's important to our employee, it's important to us. Last year alone, we raised over $100,000 to give back to our local community. These charities, they all start with a story. We want to help them tell their story.
So let me get this straight. USA Mortgage is threading up with their employees to empower them to thread up with their communities in their own unique way.
Exactly.
Sound familiar?
Y'all ready? Are y'all really ready?
Brian, why do this event? Why is it so important?
You know, I think in light of everything that's happened in our community over the last 5 years, I think an opportunity to get everybody together in this specific way, it's special. And I think I almost feel like it's a God-ordained time for something like this to happen. All the things that had to come together, whether it be, getting Michael here or being able to honor Todd, being able to honor Grandmother Rucks, all of these different things had to come together for us to have a night that encompassed all of those things. And man, the picture that's gonna be on that stage tonight, it's gonna be a beautiful picture of, I think, what our city both is and the future of what it can be. I think so often in the media, we just see our city as a result of a system. And then we attach the citizens to that system. And the truth is that I think most people and specifically in Ferguson, they don't think like maybe the system does. And I think it's a lot easier for us as neighbors to deal with whatever our issues are with one another than to have a middle infrastructure in place trying to do it for us. And I think tonight is all about that.
Ferguson became infamous, with the Michael Brown thing. But while that was all happening, I'm watching a place that I know that this isn't what Ferguson is all about. This is Ferguson suffering from the ills of social injustice or society, the misunderstandings that seem to flare up when we look at our differences and rather than our similarities, when we forget that we're all people, what we are, we're human beings that need to look at the institutions that we devise, and if they need work, we need to do that work. And we have to do that together, not apart.
You know the negative press that this city's gotten for years? Guess what? God's gonna use it for a whole different story. And it's gonna be, the light is gonna come from this place, from this city, and it's gonna be a beacon of light to show what's possible when community comes together and links arms and moves in a common cause to love others the way we've been loved in Jesus Christ. So
it's about getting the people together who can really be the game changers and the problem solvers. And that's our community, that's our neighbors. And we're just providing the soundtrack for that movement.
I just want to say thank you. And when I look out there, up here, this is the Ferguson I know. And not only is this the Ferguson that I know, this is the St. Louis that we can be.
It was a show, but it wasn't our show. It was God's show. And he certainly showed up. And I even hate saying that, like God shows up. He's always there. I just think that tonight, our eyes opened in a way where we could really see him.
what a great event. And you talk about a picture of community in action, an ultimate scene of threading up taking place. I mean, just look at that stage. All walks of life represented. And you've got all these folks coming together. You got Brian Owens teaming up with Michael McDonald, who comes back to his hometown to team up with Brian and Kennedy Holmes to honor Grandma Rucks, and Todd Shelton, and all raising money for Life Arts Inc. that is using the arts to disciple young people so they can go out and affect their communities for good. I mean, just what a beautiful picture. And I want you to notice one thing about this story. What did Grandma Rucks say? She said all this influence on all these young people through music. She said, I never wanted to teach music. Brian Owens, I never wanted to start a nonprofit. You see a scene there? Todd Shelton never wished this on himself, but I'm gonna use it for God's glory. All of these folks were walking close enough to God that even though it wasn't something they didn't want to do, they could still hear that small voice telling them, this is where I've called you. And then they stepped willingly. You know, I was just in Louisiana this past weekend for my dad's 80th birthday. And we were celebrating my father and God's work in him and through him. And one thing my dad said about he got the call when he was on his way to medical school. He was going to medical school and God said, I want you. And that's when my dad turned the car around and went home. And what did he say? Did he say, all right, God, I'm here for you? He said, I don't want to be a pastor. I've never wanted to be a pastor. I don't talk like a pastor. That's not my thing. But he was walking close enough to God to hear, but I've called you. And all of these folks who have heard that call have stepped into it. And now they're making a huge difference everywhere that they are. God is using Brian Owens just in his lane through music to influence and disciple young people. Using Michael McDonald in the same way. He's using Todd Shelton to continue to impact and influence the lives of those young men that he coached and young girls. He's still being an influence. And Grandma Rucks, look at all the people she's still continuing to invest in. And she said, it's not what I wanted, but God had other plans. And look at the good that he does through those plans. It's how God works. And if we're plugged into something in the culture rather than God, then we're not able to hear the still small voice when he's telling us where he really wants us to be. And then we don't get all this beautiful fruit that's born because of it. What's the still small voice saying to you? Can you hear it? Have you found that quiet spot to let him speak to you? Plug into God and let him point the direction that he wants you to go. Let him give you eyes to see and feet to follow, and you'll live out his call on your life, and it'll bless many. Well, that brings us to the end, but not the end. You know what I'm talking about.
I'll totally just go off of you.
Yeah. Go off on me?
No.
Okay,
go
all
off
right.
of you.
Right.
I mean, I could go off.
Yeah, I
of
think you could.
But that
You
would
have
be great.
reason.
They'll never let us back. So when I walk out, you want me to go around you that way?
So I'm kind of bugging you.
Okay.
Let me act like I'm bugging you.
I'm rolling, so whenever you're ready.
All right. You did that on purpose. You did.
Spot Media Production Group.